Do you think your Boston Terrier can feel guilt? In this video, I'm actually going to answer that question, share with you some polls, as well as some scientific information answering, can Boston Terriers feel guilty? Coming up. Hey everybody, welcome to the Boston Terrier Society YouTube channel. I'm Donnie, and over there is Bella, my Boston. And today we're answering the question, can Boston Terriers feel guilt? I know all of you know what it looks like in a Boston. They're kind of hunched down, they have their ears back, and they're avoiding eye contact altogether. I feel like this is a very common trait among all Boston Terriers. And I'm sure if you've owned a Boston for more than a week, you've experienced this as well, where you come home and you know your Boston has done something wrong, because as soon as you start walking up the stairs, the Boston that normally greets you is not there. They're somewhere cowered in the corner, and that's how I know Bella has done something wrong. So as far as the scientific research, which I'm going to cover in a minute, but it says dogs in general do not feel guilt. But what I think is interesting, I went ahead and asked the community here on YouTube, and I had over 1,000 people respond. I asked, do you think your dog ever feels guilty? I had 89% or 890 people say yes, absolutely their dog feels guilty, with only a slim margin of 11% saying no, they don't. I want to bring in a comment that somebody had posted in this. It was from Ripley's Log. They have a YouTube channel, you should go check it out. But it says, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing to you, but I'll share it with you. I hate those dog guilt videos simply because the dog is not showing guilt, it's showing appeasement behavior. And the reason it's doing that is because it's scared and doesn't understand why their owners are berating them. So that comment really stuck with me because, you know, as a Boston Terrier owner, as a pet lover in general, you don't wanna make your dog feel bad. Whenever it comes to guilt, I went ahead and looked into this study, and this was a study done back in 2009. It was to see whether or not dogs felt guilt. And the name of this study, well, first it was done by Alexandria Horowitz, and it was titled Disambiguating the Guilty Look, Salient Prompts to a Familiar Dog Behavior. And she was trying to see, do dogs actually feel guilty? And basically what she concluded was, no, dogs don't feel guilt. They actually are just picking up the cues from their owners. So the way the trials were set up and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and read a little bit of the abstract from the actual study. And it says, the trials varied the opportunity for dogs to disobey an owner's command not to eat a desirable treat while the owner was out of the room. And they also varied the knowledge of what their dogs did in their absence. So the owners didn't know and the dogs, either did or didn't eat a treat. The result revealed no difference in behaviors associated with the guilty look. By contrast, more such behaviors were seen in trials when owners scolded their dogs. It's not a response of the dog feeling guilty. It's if you've ever scolded them in the past for doing something in particular, they're reacting out of fear because they know that they did something, and the last time that happened, they were fearful. In essence, whenever your dog is, kind of doing that cowardly thing, you've done something to instill fear in them from the last time that, maybe they ate something off the table, from the last time that had happened. Now, I know what you're thinking, I don't scold my dog, I don't yell at my dog, I don't beat my dog. Of course not. But, fear can totally be manifested in a whole bunch of different ways. Maybe you raised your voice. Your dog doesn't know that. Your dog picks up on those subtle cues. Maybe you were angry. Maybe you didn't show your dog that you're angry, but just that energy kind of flowing through your body, your dog's gonna pick up on that. And simply being mad and looking at your dog will also put fear in them. Once again, I know you might be thinking, hey, I've never scolded my dog, so I don't know why they're doing that guilty look other than they're guilty, but it's actually just some type of fear that you've instilled in them. And once again, it could have just been literally you being angry inside and just that energy coming out, whether or not you actually yelled at your dog. Now, I just want to give you an example. In this video, I actually came home from work, and Bella had gotten up on the counter and got some English muffins and ate them all. And I went ahead and captured this on camera. I didn't yell at her. I literally just looked at her. She was all hunched over, not looking me in the eyes because she knew she did something wrong. But it had to have been something that I've done in the past. Yelling at her, putting her in her bedroom, something of that nature has stuck with her, and that's why she has that guilty look. All right, just gonna give the cold shoulder, I guess. Nothing? So question of the day, after watching this video, do you still think Boston Terriers feel guilt, or do you think it's just a fear response? Put in the comments below because I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. Now, think about Ripley's post that I had mentioned earlier. Unless you can catch your dog in the act to correct whatever behavior it is, and it needs to be correct, you're not punishing them because obviously this is only gonna make that whole guilty look worse. But if you cannot correct it immediately, then you just need to set yourself up, at least your Boston, set them up for success the next time. But whatever they did wrong can occur. Back to the whole English muffin thing with Bella. Well, I just scoot everything back where she can't reach it. So whenever we're gone for the day, she's not getting up on the counter and getting stuff. And then that just eliminates the whole thing. And then obviously we can teach her not to jump on the counters, and that's a whole nother topic. Whenever you see this guilty thing, you want to try to correct the behavior so they don't have to feel this fear again. Whew, I know this was a lot. I hope you liked the video. If you did like it, please hit the like button down below. And otherwise, until next time, life is better with a Boston.